بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين وهو خير ناصر ومعين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين ولعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. Amma ba'd, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Spiritual Perspectives. We are here for the past 2 weeks, about 3 weeks, looking at the spiritual perspective in regards to the challenges that Islam faces. The program is geared towards our youth, particularly, and for them to gain a deeper understanding of Islam and to see what challenges they face. As we have mentioned earlier so far, just a recap that Islam is faced with many challenges. Unfortunately, these challenges are not only from outside but within as well, because Muslims, scholars, intellectuals, without having a deeper understanding, a thorough understanding of Islam, they tend to reply, or they tend to answer these challenges, and they themselves get into the same error as in which they are led to by the West or by other alien cultures. Last week we pointed out to the three phenomena, which is God, universe and man, and we mentioned that it is only Islam in which the divine have expressed himself to its zenith, and he has allowed, God have allowed himself, manifested himself within Islam, and through which man with his intellectual capacity have the ability to comprehend to its maximum capacity in this world and understand God. Nevertheless, previous religions also have expressions of the divine. Man have tried and embark upon that path and do reach to a certain limit. However, what we see within Islam is very unique and very special, and at the same time the aspect of the Sharia, which really means a path of stream, literally speaking, of river. So therefore the Sharia as a path, as a way towards God, and essentially speaking, for those who are the followers of the school of Ahl Bayt, they regard the tariqah, which the Sunnis or the Sufis regard as a method towards the divine, as the essential aspect of the Sharia itself. So those who are the followers of Ahl Bayt, they regard their tariqah to be the Ayn Shariat, which means that the tariqah, the methodology or the method of reaching God, is the very essential aspect of the Shariat itself. So that means that there is no difference between the Shariat, which is the outward aspect, and the inward aspect of this Shariat is that tariqat itself. Now we ended up last week by mentioning that it is quite important that man come to a thorough understanding how he, in what relationship that he has with his surrounding. We said God, man, and the universe. God, and then man, who completely depends on God, who is not independent entity. He depends on God. His existence is void without God. Then finally we also mentioned about the universe, the things that are there around him, which Quran considered as ayat, as a sign, which Quran considered as an amana, as a trust given to man. So he is the caretaker of this world. He is the caretaker of this universe. Then therefore the method or the way that he will approach the surrounding, the way that the relationship that he would have with the nature around him would be based upon the divine teachings, will be based upon that Shariat and Tariqat, which will, and through this he will be in perfect harmony with his nature. Now moving a bit more further, as the Quran clearly points out to in Surah Hujurat, verse number 13, that inna khalaqna ya ayyuhan nas, that the Quran says, O people, we have created you in male and female, and we have placed you in groups and tribes. لِتَعْرَفُوهُ إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ خَبِيرٌ. And certainly what is near God is taqwa, is piety, and certainly Allah is the one who is the most knowledgeable, who have that divine knowledge. And Khabir really comes from minute details of man. See, if you look at the translation of khabar, khabar as a news, you have the headlines and you have the khabar, which kind of points out to the detail. Khabar means the detail. So when Allah is mentioning here that He is Khabir, meaning that He even know the minute details of human reality, what He thinks, so on and so forth. So therefore in Surah Hujurat, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly points out to in verse number 13 that O people, because Surah Hujurat is one of those surahs that God have mentioned about Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. It is a very akhlaqi surah. However, one of the verse which talks about the creation of man, in which He says that I have created you male and female, and this creation of male and female is in order, and I have placed you in tribes in order that you know each other. Now, as we are talking about knowing, understanding, marifat, and this will provide us with understanding our deen, understanding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the universe as well. Now let's reflect a bit upon this verse of Hujurat. I have created a male and female. Now we were discussing about man and the deeper understanding of who man is. As God says that I have created you male and female. Now who is this male and female? What is their reality? What is their essential reality? If one understands this, then he will be in perfect harmony with himself and with the relationship that he has, if he's a man with a female, or if she is a female with a male, and his relationship with his children, his relationship with the community members, and then this will have an effect upon the community and upon the society. For example, if a male is a male, a true male, what he is supposed to be, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants him to be, and the same applies for the female as well, then if they have a perfect relationship, then this will have an effect upon the society. If they are not, then obviously it will have a negative effect upon the society, divorce and so on and so forth. Today what we see in the culture, in the Western world, or in the culture today, not just in the West, is the divorce rate being high, families breaking apart. Why is that? Because they are not in harmony with their nature. A male is not a male, a female is not a female. Plus the issue of the role models, who they are following and what they are following and where they are led to, and the effect of the environment upon them, not just the environment but also the intake, the food that they've been given and how it affects their soul. Let's further a discussion a bit more here. Now, the male and female, as God have said, He has created us. Now, for us to understand that on a deeper level and appreciate that, who we are and what we are, and this appreciation will allow us to be in a good relationship and to bring out the potential that we have within us to reach its perfection, to really understand our purpose, then we would be able to function properly. Now let's look at this point of view as a premise, and then we'll understand the what the verse is trying to say. The Orafa, those who are known as the mystique, they see this reality into three folds or three different realms. However, there's another division, but for us and for our viewers to understand in a nutshell, in a sort of simplified way, you have the mulk, which is called this worldly plane that we live in. Then you have the angelic realm, which is called the malakut, and you have the jabarut, which is the realm of the asma and the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, for us to see the angelic realm or the immaterial realm, not just the angelic realm, which is the highest sort of substance of that realm, is that immaterial realm. No one can deny that. Somebody asked me that, how is it possible to really teach our children in regards to spirituality? The answer is simple. As the material realm exists, in the same fashion the immaterial realm exists. Dreams, imagination, do they exist or not? We'll continue on this topic right after this short break. Stay with us.